So this isn't the first time you've played a government operative. So what was it about Nate that really, drew you to the script?
Oh, I think that Nate was like this sort of lonely, hapless, slightly alcoholic loser, I mean, when I say loser, I got to qualify that and say that it seemed to me that because he opened a space in his life for trusting people, that being a CIA operative meant that was sort of a weakness. And because he formed these connections with his mole, and was willing to protect that person, he kind of got kind of suspended from his job. I just like the humanity of it, really. I mean, I love the idea that I got to tick the childhood fantasy box of playing a spy, but also play one that, and I think you're alluding to maybe 0 Dark 30, is, one that's real and grounded as well.
The storyline's quite complex. I mean, how much of it was you allowed to read it? Did you read the book at all, or was you?
Yeah, no, we had Jason Matthews' book and then the screenplay, obviously, and it's tricky because for the filmmaker, for Francis, it's a matter of like trying to play that game with the audience, and these movies are the most fun, I think, or the most enjoyable or the most satisfying if as an audience you get to kind of feel like you're neck and neck with the filmmaker in terms of deciding what's going to happen next and what a certain person's agenda is, and sort of almost being right, but not quite always being right. And that Francis gets to sort of, pull the rug out from your perceptions of character and story. So as an actor, it's a weird thing to be a part of that because you're really a pawn in helping that game to be played properly. Like what look I give at a certain moment tells the audience a certain thing, and it can be a red herring or, like the flick of an eye or the kind of, the intake of a breath could mean so much more than a normal drama would.
Yeah, so it certainly got me confused a number of times.
I love to confuse people with my acting. So I do it every movie.
Okay. It's actually quite brutal as well, but I mean, you don't really have to get involved with the brutality, but was there any point that you really wanted to be part of that action and take some of that off of Jennifer?
No. I mean, I have one kind of pretty harrowing scene in the movie, and every time I thought, poor me, I've got to do this scene, I thought of the dozen scenes that Jennifer was going to have to do that I know, having been around the block enough, that just nudity and abuse and violence and all the kind of things that she has to go through. They're tough days on set. They're really tough. But the brutality is interesting in this movie because it almost loads. It's important that it's not titillating. It's important that it's not satisfying on a sexual level for an audience to watch it. It's not about exciting them. It's about showing the degradation in order that you really load up, I think, the necessary and kind of abundant need for vengeance that she's going to have on these men in her life.
And you do get your naked torture scene yourself.
Yes, I do get my semi-naked torture scene. Yeah,
I actually quite enjoyed that.
My torture was nice enough to let me leave my underpants on.
I was going to say, was there any kind of trepidation about filming that scene at all?
Look, like a lot of things in my life, from sports finals as a kid to acting scenes in movies to conversations, hard conversations with parents or anything. I think the anticipation of doing the thing is always the most difficult, and that once you then apply yourself to the task, it becomes like an easier prospect. And that was certainly the case with the torture scene. I think in the days leading up to it, I was like, what's it like to be tortured? And I'm not certainly not going to research this. And then you get there and you just sort of buckle up and you do it. And that's sort of fun because like jumping, it's like free falling in a way. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to me today.
Thank you.
Right, cheers.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey